Hey guys, welcome back to ArtosisCasts. Hope that you are enjoying the Korea-China Invitational League. Big thanks to CasterMuse for putting this on. Right now, we are in a 9-game series between Paralyze, our Protoss player from Korea, and XiaoShuai, our Chinese Zerg player. It's actually quite a close series, and you know, the one thing that I find kind of funny about this series so far is it feels like every game has been one-sided, yeah, but it's still close. You know, it's 3-2 right now. But yeah, it's actually a little bit hard to predict. I'm certainly leaning towards Paralyze. I do feel like overall his games have been a little bit better, a little bit higher skill, I guess. But yeah, I mean, it's anyone's guess what's going to happen. XiaoShuai has such a range of tactics, of cheeses, of macro plays. Definitely I'm beginning to appreciate his style a bit more. I have casted a decent amount of his games in the past. He's done well in some tournaments such as a BSL season. So yeah, it's kind of fun to learn a little bit more about him and the way he plays here against Paralyze, who, by the way, does a high ground pylon. Let's put the gateway down. That's more of a Protoss versus Terran placement. But going to go ahead and use this against XiaoShuai. Which, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I'm not really sure what to make of this. You know, I guess with the egg here, a second gateway or a cybernetics core or whatever you could put here, and that's a 2 zealot wall. So, like, I mean, you're going to have to put your second pylon here to make that wall. Or maybe that's a 1 zealot wall. Yeah. Anyways, we'll see what he does with that. Throws the second pylon down. I guess this is just like a little bit more efficient when you think about it. The probe doesn't have to walk all the way down here to make the first pylon, so it only has to walk to here. Dude, the small things that you do to optimize in StarCraft. You wouldn't believe me if I told you all of them. In fact, I don't know all of them, and I've devoted my life to this game for 25 years now, so it shows you just how crazy this game has gotten. Now, Paralyze here has pylon blocked. That natural hatchery just forces him to go ahead and make the hatchery over at the third base. That does open up potentially a little bit more harassment from this beautiful magenta zealot as it walks across the map. You know, having it be further away, it's a little bit harder to cover everything. The zealots can suddenly appear somewhere. Here he walked under an overlord. He was just checking to see, oh, did you take this base or did you take this base? He knows he took one of them. It would be very weird if he took, like, this base down here, right? The bottom left natural. That would be the only other actual choice. But yeah, that would be really bizarre. And I don't think that's XiaoShuai's style. There's some... I mean, you could take that as a third hatch, but as a second hatch, yeah, much less likely. Anyways, XiaoShuai here. Yeah, going up to regular 3-hatch play. Nothing looks out of the ordinary, just trying to chase down this probe a little bit. The forge as part of the wall. We've talked about this a lot. Like, the forge is part of the wall. You gotta remember that there's a possibility that this will be forced to cancel +1, and in that case, a lot of times, recently we've had a lot of double forge in main base as the counter to that, which I think fits really, really well, considering they already committed pretty heavily to ground, so you getting ground upgrades are going to be fantastic. Or is going to be fantastic. Now, 100 gas. What are we doing with it? Zergling speed. And that's a lot of lings to be pulling in your main base. Okay, he's zoning the probe out from ever getting in, chasing with one, and coming in for flanks with the others. And Paralyze knows this. This is why he's not, like, diving in, because if he dives in, he loses area to micro, right? So if you start to dive in, well, suddenly you're close to this wall, or you're close to this wall, or you're close to this wall. And he might be able to close in and get you. But if you keep it much more out in the open, it's a lot harder for the Zerglings to actually catch you. So you can definitely keep alive a lot longer. Obviously, the healing is a big part of that as well. Here come 4 Zealots to put some pressure on. Now, he's going to be a bit surprised by the amount of Zerglings that are out here. But this is great intel for him. Now, does catch that probe. I think he got a look that there was no drones here yet. And as he's come down here and there's no drones here, I think you're very likely to see an additional cannon here, or maybe a shield battery. Really anything. He hides them by... Oh, man, this is so annoying. This is so annoying to XiaoShuai. You're going masslings. You're trying to all in here. Oh, my God, and he actually gets on top of the cannon? Really? How did you not have that blocked? That's... Oh, my God. Well, I mean, Paralyze definitely misplayed here a little bit. He gets some Zealots into the wall, but there is a Zergling that's just forced to cancel on another cannon. There's a lot of Zerglings attacking. Oh, man, once you let him in, it generally spells defeat. The Stargate is coming from the main. It doesn't really matter. It's all about holding this front, and he is not going to hold this front. I think XiaoShuai is going to tie up this series once again with a timely Zergling all in. I felt like Paralyze actually had the edge when he went across the map with the Zealots. It felt like he gained enough information there to know what was going on, but certainly not GG. Paralyze loses to XiaoShuai. All right, so jumping directly into game number 2 here. It is on Nemesis, all tied up, of course, and Paralyze scouting. It looks like he will find XiaoShuai first. Gateway expansion, so looking to put on some of that Zealot pressure again. And as he gets up here, you'll see the Overlord as well as the Hatchery. And, well, if he's going up here, he's trying to fake a cannon rush. You know, obviously he already cannon rushed in this series. So, definitely understand that he's trying to get an overreaction. And it looks like XiaoShuai is totally believing it. He brings up 3 drones that he absolutely does not need here. He will get some real damage onto the probe. Ooh, you don't want to be losing that probe. I don't think it's worth it. And actually will cancel the pylon. So now XiaoShuai knows that he has, in fact, been duped. This is much more likely to be a gateway expansion at this point. But you know what? The amount of damage done to this probe is a little bit rough. And you can see XiaoShuai wants to finish it off before its shields get back. Not going to be able to get it, it seems. Some good micro overall there from XiaoShuai. Ooh. Oh! 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 Whoa. Kind of crazy there. Like, if you kill the scouting probe, it's pretty big. They really do need to keep tabs on everything, and obviously the probe helps out with fighting against both Zerglings and drones. So it's got a lot of damage on it. There's a possibility you might want to send another one later. And of course, with Zealot pressure, you do get a bit more scouting done. A better feel for what's going on than with like a Forge Fast expansion, in which case that probe being low might be a bigger issue. Now, in comes the Zealot. Going to start harassing these drones a little bit. Some nice drilling there from XiaoShuai. Pops out 6 Zerglings, so obviously that is more than enough to deal with everything. By the way, he did kind of zoop back this probe through this area. I don't know if he's going to do anything with that. He'll probably just glitch it through to scout in a little bit here to check for like a 3-hatch Hydra type of thing, right? Wouldn't be surprised. Oh, no, he actually brings it right out through the eggs anyway, so maybe he was just hiding it there for the time being. There is a 3rd hatchery for XiaoShuai over at this other natural. So this is the closest by ground additional base. If you make, like, for instance, this as your 3rd, it takes a really long time to get units out of there because you have to kill eggs. So just throwing that out there, right? Like, it kind of makes sense that he took that base. A lot of times when you see a base like this taken, it does point towards a big macro game. But that isn't necessarily the case, especially on Nemesis. Now, Zergling's putting a lot of pressure onto this gateway. I mean, we have had a lot of success from XiaoShuai with Zergling play, so I guess. I don't think he's going to get anything done here, though. There's like already 4 Zealots. Yeah, the Zealots all come out to fight, and he's actually trading reasonably well, I think. That was a beautiful pullback. Look at that. 2 very red Zealots pull back. No harm, no foul to them. And the cannon is going to be getting up. So that early pressure didn't really do it. Didn't really do it for XiaoShuai. Now, that's not the end of the world. He put a lot of damage on the Zealots. He did kill 1. He damaged the gateway a little bit. I don't feel like it was an overreaction from Paralyze, though, which is what you would probably want in this situation. So the Zealot's going to walk across the map. Certainly, XiaoShuai needs to make a few more lings. In fact, 10 more on the way. More than enough to deal with these, especially when you consider how low health 2 of them are right now. It's quite easy to chunk through the shields. You know, the +1 armor on the actual health, to have that health so low makes it a lot easier to clean up. So some nice little Zergling micro trying to deal as much damage to the Zealots as is possible. +1 is on the way. Stargate coming up for Paralyze, so pretty standard continuations here. Yeah, don't forget, with the series tied up 3-3, still anyone's game. We have 3 games left. Like, even if, let's say, Paralyze 3-0s from here, we're still playing all 3 of them, right? So yeah, the 9-game series. I like 9-game series like that. Like, you get to see a lot more possibilities out of the players, and especially when they're close like this. It can suck sometimes when you have something like, you know, the player's up 7-0, and you're like, all right, game 8, and it just devolves into a cheese fest, and it's like, well, yeah. But here, you know, a big variety of games, and with it at 3-3, both players obviously want to win so badly. Yeah, look at this, by the way. He is going to try to glitch it over the eggs. There are ways you can do this. If you put this right up next to it and you give it a return command and get it on top of an egg, then you can click it over. So there you go. You see he pops it right over here. The Lings are going to be able to catch it. Oh, if he sees it. It gets in, and he's going to be able to see the lair. We don't see the spire. Hydralisk Den, spire. Oh, wow, that's kind of crazy. Both tech buildings down here. I don't think I've ever quite seen that. I've definitely seen the spire hidden at a base like this. That's kind of a common play. Wow, that's kind of fascinating. Oh my god. 2 Stargate Corsair. Oh my god, what am I even looking at? This game's crazy right now. So, Hydras are being made, and Scourge are being made, and Hydralisk Speed is being made. Okay, so basically, 2 Stargate Corsair, if they happen to go Mutalisks, oh my god. You can't be losing that. You can't be losing your first Corsair. It's the worst thing that can happen. Okay, so he sees a Hydralisk with pop out with this Scourge chasing him. I think at this point you have to really consider shutting down your Corsair production. Okay, he's adding another cannon here. Okay, cannon, 2 cannons at the front. But yeah, basically, if you run into a Zerg when you go 2 Stargate Corsair who's going for Mutalisks, you get really far ahead. Like, you can just massacre everything once you start hitting your critical mass. Now, if you run into someone that's going Hydras, it gets a little bit more tricky, because the pre-storm bust timing that we talk about a lot in this matchup becomes wider and wider and wider, easier and easier to hit, right? Like, Psystorm is a long ways off right now. The Citadel just finished up. Obviously, he's going to throw down a Templar Archives immediately. Actually, he gets legs first. Okay. But yeah, as I said before, this is still, it's a bit problematic because look at the amount of units going in the center of the map. Now, one thing I find interesting is the amount of Zerglings that he's made, because these Zealots have +1. So, like, they will shred Zerglings very, very well. But obviously, with a bunch of Hydras in the background, those are going to deal a lot of damage as well. Honestly, I like this for XiaoShuai. The double Stargate Corsair is, like, it's a fun build to watch, but when they're massing Hydras this quickly, you can be in for some big trouble. Now, 4 cannons, 5 cannons on the way. If these get up, he can absolutely hold this and be in a good spot, but I don't know if they're going to. Look at this. Everything's stuck behind the wall in right now. The Hydras get on top of one of the cannons. They're shooting down a second one now as well. The Zergling's just clogging everything. Zalt's having a hard time getting out. Uh-oh, no cannons left over. A lot of probes drilling out right now. In the meantime, a lot of Overlords are getting hunted, just to mention. So there is damage being dealt on the other side. The probes come out and continue to fight. He is losing a lot of those probes. More cannons going to fall, but it looks like just enough. Just enough to hold on. Oh my god. So where are we at after this? So XiaoShuai, oh, he is still actually putting on some damage. He kills off 2 of those cannons. Now, 3 more were started, so I think Paralyze actually just lives straight up. But he also, so XiaoShuai is still making Hydras. Never mind, hold on. He's jumping in once again here. A DT pops out, though. There's no Overlord in sight. The DT can end up clearing this, but you might see a lot of damage dealt first. Oh, man, the probes end up falling there as well. It's 25 probes to 19 at the moment. I'm not sure how many Overlords are really left on the map, by the way, because we definitely have those Corsairs continuing to roam about. Look at that, no drones. The drone count very, very low. But, you know, 19 drones is probably better than 24 probes with none on the natural expansion. Now, 4 Hydras running in the main base away from warping in cannons. Obviously, the DT can come down and clean this up, but they will get a few probe kills before they go down. So, yes, I have to ask once again, where are we in this game? So, XiaoShuai has gone up to 21 workers against 16 probes. I believe the probe kills are done. Yeah, they're done. I mean, he's had to make a lot of cannons. Oh my god. Oh my god. A DT slips in 10 kills. This is insane. Okay, well, I was going to say that XiaoShuai is a big leader here, but I mean, the DT is kind of bringing it back a little bit, isn't it? All right, one Overlord pops, another Overlord pops. There's enough Hydras there. I don't think that you can really dive with your Corsairs anymore. Looks like he is going to rotate his now 3 Dark Templar army down here. 3 DTs easily kill 3 Hydras. It's not even close. So, yeah, especially, I mean, you jump in and he's going to kill all the tech down here. There's nothing that can be done. Like, Overlord speed's going to finish, but the DTs should be able to kill everything, I think. Chases those back. I'm actually kind of surprised he doesn't just jump on this. Like, kill everything, man. Kill the hatch, kill the tech. Let's see if he tries getting Overlord down here in time. I don't think he can, because if you try to move enough here, the Corsairs can screw you up and more DTs can run in. So now suddenly Paralyze is like really wrecking. He targets this egg. He knows that that has to be an Overlord, and in fact it was. Looks like he's decided the Spire is a more valuable building right now than the Hatchery. Now, XiaoShuai knows he's losing control of this game, so he's actually going for drops. Wait, no, I'm sorry. That's Overlord speed, right? No. He already got Overlord speed. I'm sorry. That is drops. Yeah, there it is. Transporting for Overlords. It all looks the same, man. I don't know. So he kills the 2 heavy tech buildings, right? The Hydralis Den and the Spire. Doesn't kill the Hatchery. But now it's 31 probes against 19 drones. Full tech is out for Paralyze. And then it's like, okay, well, we remade the Hydralis Den. There's no Spire. Yeah, I mean, I think that Paralyze is in a better spot here. Right? Like, there's still a lot of Corsairs roaming about as well. Oh, I love this idea. Send the DT out to the side. You could kill the eggs in either location to try to slip in to kill more drones. That's a really smart move. Not sure if XiaoShuai will think to check for something like that right now. A lot of pressure on him in this game. Obviously, if you go up 4-3, you're very close to taking the series. And certainly he had a big advantage, but the DT's fighting back so strongly. 4 High Templars are out. Storm is done. I think he'll just let this Forge die. Wait for the Hydralis to actually try to commit. And then storm him down. I think with 5 cannons, yeah, I think he'll be fine. Like, I don't think XiaoShuai is going to break him. Now, it is a lot of Hydras, right? We have like 30 Hydras here. But if you have 4 or 5 storms, 4 or 5 cannons, and then just random units coming out of your gateways, that's... I feel like that's a hold. Now, hold on, though. I almost forgot. Drops were upgraded. Wow. The hold position really being punished there. 5 Hydras die immediately. But yeah, the big drop is going to occur now. So he's going to just skip the cannons. He's going to say, you know what? I'm not interested in fighting those. Let's go to the main base. The Corsairs come in. Here comes the Storms, though. I think the Storms are still going to make this just a terrible trade for XiaoShuai. Yeah, Storms go down. The Corsair is going to clean up the Overlords as well. And this is becoming incredibly one-sided very, very quickly. The drop was not the comeback play that XiaoShuai was hoping for. And, oh my god. A DT. Just craziness. Well, I think that's it, guys. Like, there's nothing going on. I guess that was the DT that went all the way through, like we were talking about before. Killing off every drone. XiaoShuai should be GGing here just momentarily as he looks back at his base. GG, Paralyze leads 4-3.